What if I told you that the financial center of the world wasn't London, wasn't New York, and it wasn't even in Europe? What if the place that once set global prices, funded empires, collapsed economies, and tested the limits of human faith, was a single mountain in the high peaks of Bolivia? A mountain so rich, they said it could be made of solid silver. A mountain so cruel, it earned a nickname whispered only in prayers. The mountain that eats men. This is the story Spain never wanted the world to know. A story of silver, slavery, and God. A story where wealth became a weapon, faith became control, and the global economy became addicted to precious metal. And the darkest truth, the consequences of this mountain still shape the world you and I live in today. Cuchitu Black. Welcome to Potosi, the mine that built an empire and destroyed it. In 1492, Columbus arrived in the Americas, but gold wasn't enough. Spain wanted abundance, it wanted global dominance, it wanted a resource powerful enough to rewrite the rules of wealth. Enter 1545, at 13,420 feet above sea level, in the Andes Mountains. Spanish explorers discovered a mountain glimmering with veins of pure silver, a geological miracle, an economic nuclear bomb. This mountain was called Cerro Rico, the Rich Hill. The city that formed around it was Potosi. Within decades, Potosi's population exploded to more than 160,000 people, larger than London and Paris at the time. Money didn't just flow here, it originated here. Spain's silver didn't just enter the world economy, it controlled it. But every miracle has a price, and in Potosi that price was paid in blood. The machinery of conquest. Spain didn't just discover silver, it engineered a system to extract it at any cost. They created the Mita system. Forced labor drafted from indigenous communities, villagers were taken in rotations, marched to Potosi, and sentenced to work underground for months at a time. Death wasn't an accident, it was an expectation. Religion as control. Spain understood something ruthless. If you want to control a society, you don't need chains, you need beliefs. Priests promised salvation in exchange for labor. Churches were built over indigenous sacred sites. God was used as currency. And so, for Spain, silver became divine, mining became a holy duty, obedience became the path to heaven. Economic alchemy. Spain had unlocked a cheat code. Silver poured into Europe like water, billions of pesos worth. Prices doubled, then doubled again. The world's first global inflation crisis began. Silver flowed to Dutch bankers financing wars, Italian merchants building trade networks, the Ottoman Empire's military supply chains, and eventually, China, where silver became the backbone of the Ming tax system. Potosi, silver literally connected continents. Spain became rich but not wealthy, and that is the fatal difference. Potosi didn't just fuel Spain, it infected the world economy. When silver shipped out, empires rose. When silver slowed, empires starved. This was the world's first single resource dependency crisis. China, the hidden player. Spanish ships crossed the Pacific, trading silver for Chinese silk and porcelain. Those materials went to Europe, money came back to Spain. Spain bought more ships, ships bought more slaves, slaves produced more silver. This was the first global supply chain, a loop of exploitation wrapped in the language of religion and civilization. Europe called it progress, history calls it extraction. African slavery enters the system. The indigenous population was dying faster than silver could be extracted. Millions perished from disease, exhaustion, tunnel collapses, or mercury poisoning used in refining the ore. So Spain turned to the Atlantic, to Africa. Slave ships began arriving in South America, men, women, children, all for one purpose, to feed a mountain. Potosi became a graveyard with a payroll. It's estimated that over 8 million people died in or around the mines of Cerro Rico. Not all were miners, but all were casualties. Spain made one catastrophic mistake. It believed money was wealth. The price revolution. Too much silver flooded the market. Inflation spiraled. Prices exploded. Food became unaffordable. Debt skyrocketed. Spain declared bankruptcy 4 times, all while silver still flowed. Imagine drowning in money. The Dutch and English take advantage. While Spain spent silver on war and religion, the Dutch built banks, the English built navies, the French built industry, Spain built cathedrals. When the silver stopped, Spain collapsed. Silver had run out, but the debts remained. The churches stood, but the faith cracked. The system was broken, and then, forgotten. Potosi was abandoned by the world it once powered. From global city to historical footnote, the mountain was stripped, the people were broken, and the empire was gone. Today, Potosi is still mined, Not for empire, not for glory, for survival. Children crawl through tunnels their ancestors died in. Tourists pay to watch. The air is poison, the wages are crumbs. The past is not gone, it just changed uniform. Sound familiar? One resource that powers a global economy. Workers treated as disposable. Religion, nationalism, or ideology used as justification. Booms leading to inflation, crisis, and collapse. Lithium, oil, cobalt, rare earth minerals, Bolivia's salt flats. The new lithium rush is happening just kilometers away from Potosi. The world still hasn't learned. Every empire believes it's different. Every empire thinks it's smarter. Every empire believes it can escape history. But the world still runs on extraction, on sacrifice, on the illusion that wealth is infinite. So what does the story of Potosi teach us? 3 takeaways. 1. Wealth built on exploitation is not wealth. It is a debt waiting to be paid. 2. Faith can inspire or be weaponized. When belief becomes a tool of control, it destroys what it seeks to save. 3. Economies repeat patterns when memory is lost. The past isn't history, it's instruction. A warning look at your phone, your battery, your energy grid, your financial system. Ask yourself, what mountain is being emptied right now so we can live in comfort? Whose children are crawling through tunnels for your technology? History doesn't rhyme, it repeats. Because we let it. If you want more stories like this, stories that expose the economic illusions that shaped our world, click subscribe, share this video, support independent education, because forgetting history is how empires fall, and remembering it is how people rise. This was the story of Potosi, the mountain that remade the world, and asked for everything in return.